1480 KQAM, Wichita Proud. It's time for your latest news from the KQAM News Center. Brought to you by Phil's Coins, Kansas's largest coin dealer at 9344 West Central. Phil's Coins, buying, selling, and trading with honesty and integrity.
Good afternoon, I'm Andy Hooser. Well, Wichita residents that live near the Wichita Buffalo Park are expressing concerns that standing water in the area could be a breeding ground for snakes and mosquitoes and could cause a safety concern this summer.
This used to have a fishing pond in it. It started to create little pockets of holding water.
That was Wichita City Council member Brian Fry on Cake News, where he says the city is working on options on what to do with the park, but haven't come up with a solid plan yet.
Filling it in completely, repurpose it as a pond, putting a clay base in, and the last solution is to put in pumps.
He says the city council is considering all the options, but they could be expensive, as the solutions could cost anywhere from $300,000 up to $1 million. In other news, as things begin to open up after the COVID-19 pandemic, more companies have announced hiring opportunities within their businesses.
You should always be looking for talent to add to your team, be looking to the future, trying to find people who culturally fit with your company, who have the right work ethic and the right drive and determination to be successful.
That was David Cox, the CEO of the Bradbury Group, who's looking to hire more mechanical assemblers. Now let's go to sports.
The Wichita Wind Surge still have not lost a game in club history. Last night they took down the Springfield Cardinals 5-4 after a seventh-inning rally to get to 2-0 on the young season. Jose Miranda hit the first home run in Wind Surge history in last night's third inning. Today they get back at it with the Cardinals at 7:05. Cole Sands on the mound for Wichita. Not such a great night for the Kansas City Royals. Another drama-filled night with umpires. They lose late to Cleveland. Back at it today to try and salvage the series. From the KGSO Sports Desk, I'm Mason Voth.
It's tax season, and if you're getting a return, Yoder Meats can help you put that extra money to good use feeding your family. Invest in a side of beef or half hog and fill your freezer at the best cost per pound. Yoder Meats all-inclusive pricing lets you know what to expect right up front, and our locally raised all-natural butcher beef and pork will be a family favorite. We custom cut to your specifications, and you can pick up at any Yoder Meats location. Follow us on Facebook for the latest information and specials. Taste the old-fashioned flavor at Yoder Meats in Yoder and 3 locations in Wichita.
You want certified protection on any pre-owned vehicle, any make or model, all at one location? Head to Rusty Eck Ford.
If you're searching for the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle, look no further. Want a certified pre-owned Honda? Come to Rusty Eck Ford. Want a certified pre-owned Toyota? Come to Rusty Eck Ford. Want a certified pre-owned Chevy, Jeep, or Ram? Come to Rusty Eck Ford. We're now offering certified pre-owned vehicles of all makes and models. Over 300 to choose from. With Rusty Eck Ford's Blue Advantage program, receive 90-day, 4,000-mile comprehensive coverage with every vehicle going through a 139-point inspection. Rusty Eck Ford is your certified pre-owned powerhouse. Don't forget to ask about our optional 4-day or 200-mile exchange policy.
We've taken the shopping out of the equation, and the solution is simple. Rusty Eck Ford, your certified pre-owned powerhouse. If you don't come see us today, we can't save you any money. RustyEckFord.com.
Excludes Lincoln and select high-end premium brands.
Market information, Mid-America Ag Network. Going to take a look at Kansas and Oklahoma's closing cash grain bids. It is Thursday, May 6th. We saw some nice upward movement in the futures markets. We saw some nice upward movement in the cash grains as well, especially for soybeans and corn. Let's take a look at the numbers. We'll start at Garden City, Kansas today, where the wheat finished at $7.09, the corn $7.79. The Milo $7.29 and the soybeans $15.40. Sumner County, the wheat $7.07, corn $7.19, Milo $7.04, beans $15.58. At Concordia, the wheat $7.17, corn $7.19, Milo $6.89, soybeans $15.45. At Goodland, the wheat $6.77, the corn $7.50, the Milo $7.35, and the soybeans $15.60. Fredonia, Kansas, wheat $7.26, corn $7.53, Milo $7.18, beans $15.65. And at Belleville, $7.07 on the wheat, $7.09 on the corn, $6.79 on Milo, and $15.35 on soybeans. In Oklahoma, starting at Enid, the wheat $7.22, the corn $7.39, Milo $7.84, beans $15.80. Ponca City, $7.04 on the wheat, $7.35 is where the corn landed, $7.69 on Milo, $15.70 on soybeans. And at Panhandle Hooker, wheat was at $7.11, corn $7.88, Milo $7.73, soybeans $15.29. Grab the calculator for some mathematical gymnastics. Here we go with the averages. 7.08 across Oklahoma and Kansas on wheat. That's up 8. Corn finished with an average across the two states, 7.43. That's up 10. Milo was at 731 on the average. That's up 9. And soybeans finished across Kansas and Oklahoma with an average of 1553. That's up 28. So a big day for soybeans on Thursday. Wheat was up 8, corn up 10, Milo up 9, soybeans up 28 on Thursday. Kansas and Oklahoma closing cash grain bids. Mid-America Ag Network.
Your local weather on KQAM. Brought to you by Derby Mattress. No dancing animals, no gimmicks. Your locally owned hometown mattress store at 105 South Baltimore in Derby.
Lots of sunshine this afternoon in Wichita with a daytime high climbing to about 70 degrees. North wind at about 8 to 16. Tonight, clouds gradually on the increase toward morning and a chance for morning showers and storms. Lows drop to 48. For your day on Friday, a mix of sun and clouds, a high near 70. With your forecast, I'm Cake meteorologist Frank Waugh.
That's your latest Cake First Alert weather update on the Big Talker, KQAM.
At 4:06, it's currently 69 degrees.
Fighting for freedom every day.
They are absolutely desperate to pretend the last 4 years never happened and for them to go back to what they liked to do before, which is create these massive spending bills to pretend that it's really, really important to you when you only get about 5% of what's in the bill, and they can't do it because we're aware of it. We're paying attention to it, and they don't like that.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
This is by far like the fastest week that I think I've ever seen. Welcome into the broadcast. It is the Voice of Reason. I'm Andy Hooser, broadcasting live out of the heart of the nation here in Wichita, Kansas, on our flagship radio station, all over the country on radio, TV, live streaming, and podcasting. Welcome in your millennial general reporting for duty the way we do every single day. Let me ask you something. I have a serious question to ask. If you have a bear traveling with you on the campaign trail, do you think it's going to get some attention? Like a live, actual grizzly bear. Do you think it's going to get some attention? It's funny, we mentioned this story yesterday. John Cox, Republican candidate for the governor's race in the state of California, traveling around saying, meet the beast, meeting the bear and him, because he's apparently the beast that's going to stop the Democrats and do the thing as a Republican in the state of California. And now he's upset because the beast, the bear, is actually getting more publicity than him. I don't understand why you're upset. You put the bear on the campaign trail with you for a reason, because it's the state animal and you're going to, be the beast to fight the politics and yada, yada. And now the bear's getting more attention than you actually are. Does that mean that he's just a bad candidate that, no one's paying attention to, but they love the bear? Or does that mean that he just made a bad campaign thing? I don't know. Kind of weird. Well, welcome into the show. We got a lot to get to today. You can find us all over social media, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, also on ourfreedombook.com and our website at HooserReason.com. At the bottom of the hour, we're going to have Scott McEwen. I'm excited to chat with him. He is author of the new book, Hell Week and Beyond, The Making of a Navy SEAL. As we'll talk with him about his book, his experience in the military, how the military has changed over the years, and that sort of thing. Kind of might be a fun way to sort of start wrapping up the week. As a programming note for you, before we get any further, I will not be here tomorrow. We'll have a best of program or recorded program running for you, because tomorrow, and for those living outside of the state, if you want to join us, you're more than welcome to do so. But tomorrow is the Kansas State Rifle Association's annual convention in Hays, Kansas, about 3 hours away from where I'm at right now. And it begins at 6 p.m. So I will not be here in studio for that, as I will be traveling up there. And I'm looking forward to it. I'll be emceeing the event tomorrow night and Saturday. So if anybody, really anywhere around the country, if you want to go, there's still tickets, I believe, available, hotel available, I believe. You can go to kansasrifle.org and you can find that if you want to. But Kansas State Rifle Association annual meeting, it's going to be awesome. I'm excited to MC it. I am excited to get up there and see all the speakers that we're going to have. A lot of different candidates running for different seats in Kansas. We're going to have tomorrow like a big shooting competition, some different training seminars and stuff going on. People showing different walkthroughs of different scenarios. It's going to be really, really cool. So I'm excited about it. I will not be here And if you are in the Wichita area, then we'll have some updates for you on the airwaves as well. But I'm excited. And for anybody else that's listening to the program outside of Kansas, we have I'll be doing different live streams from there on the social media. So you can find us at Hooser Reason. We'll be doing live streams. I'll be taking pictures. We'll be having some fun. So you can definitely follow us along the entire step of the way if you're not able to make it. So stay tuned in. You can find us again at Hooser Reason on all of these social media. And yeah, I'm excited. Now, I will say I may actually try to put a video onto TikTok. I did my first video on TikTok, by the way, and put one on. I have 9 followers, which you can find me again on TikTok at Hooser Reason, and it got 500 views. Where have you been all my life, TikTok? 500 views. I have 9 followers, and yet 500 people viewed my thing. So I was super excited. I'm not getting shadow banned on there yet. So we'll see how long that actually lasts. But we'll be putting some video on. We'll be putting some pictures on and some other stuff on all of our social media for the update from the Kansas State Rifle Association's annual meeting. And I'm super excited to be up there and emceeing that event. This will be our second year in a row of emceeing that event. I guess it would have been 3, but last year with COVID and everything, it didn't happen. So now that they're actually planning, then yeah, it would be 3. So that's awesome. Super excited about that. And speaking of firearms, by the way, may tie this into my speech up there tomorrow. But tomorrow, the Department of Justice, the DOJ, is expected to issue their order rule on ghost guns. Now, for those of you like me that don't know what ghost guns are, they're apparently the kits that you can buy and put them together. And the reason Joe Biden did not like ghost guns was because they don't have serial numbers on them. So anybody could technically purchase the gun because it's not a gun yet because it needs to be assembled, assembly required. And then you put it together and it's a firearm, but there's no serial number so you can't track it. But it's stupid. That's kind of like trying to track every piece of ammunition, which, by the way, they have tried. As you know, they tried to put on the serial numbers on the different pieces of ammunition. Each shell, each bullet, they tried to put a serial number on so that way they could track all the bullets all over the world. So that way we knew exactly who tried to kill somebody or who fired the shot if there was an issue. But now they want to put the serial numbers on these ghost guns and they want to ban them to some degree, essentially, per the executive order from Joe Biden. Now the Department of Justice is going to come out and make a ruling on this. I'm curious and waiting on bended knees and holding my breath to see what's actually going to take place with the Department of Justice. You got to remember, this is not the Supreme Court. This is the Department of Justice. It is a bureaucratic agency run by the executive branch. I wonder how they're going to rule on this. Now, then, of course, we'll have to appeal. We'll go to the Supreme Court, and then we maybe could actually get a proper decision here. But the DOJ, they're going to side with Biden, saying, yes, you're allowed to put the serial number on, or you're allowed to ban certain ones. You're allowed to put the infringement on these guns because they're very scary. They're very evil. What if someone actually tried to, build a gun themselves? Which I'm telling you, and I've mentioned this before, is that eventually it's going to get to that point. We're going to have to learn, which is why it's not taught in education, by the way. Our Common Core educational system run by the Department of Education and the federal government, it's not taught like that because eventually we're going to have to learn how to sustain on our own. We're going to have to build our own cars. We're going to have to sew our own clothes. We're going to have to whittle down our own firearms. We're going to have to do our own thing again because everything will be banned. And they can't ban everything because obviously we're going to have the right to do what we need to do on our own, and we're going to figure it out. If there's a demand for it in the private market, then people will find a way to fulfill that. But the government thinks that if they control it and they micromanage it, then they won't allow anybody to fill that void because there shouldn't be that void, because no one should ever want an evil firearm, especially one that you could assemble by yourself because we don't know who's getting that one. And that could be very scary. So the Department of Justice coming out tomorrow and making that decision. And again, I just wonder what they're going to decide on. The department, according to Fox News, Department of Justice has been given 60 days to issue a separate rule on stabilizing braces for handguns. If you remember, that was one of the executive orders from Joe Biden, where it turns it into like a mini rifle. You put it in there and you hold it, and it's got the shoulder brace just like a long rifle, and then you can aim. I don't know anybody that uses those. Maybe they do at the range for fun, but if you're using it for self-defense, I'm guessing, hold on, shooter at the grocery store, don't worry, I just need to put my brace on real quick so I can properly aim. I don't know anybody that uses them, kind of like the bump stock, but doesn't mean that they can just take it away because, well, no one uses it anyway, so let's go ahead and take it away. They've been given 60 days to issue a separate ruling on that one, which can turn a pistol into a more accurate weapon that fires like a rifle. I love how the media tries to scare you. Biden has called on Congress to ban assault weapons. Assault weapons, also called to the Senate to pass 2 House bills, one that closes the loopholes on background checks, including the Charleston loophole, and one that expanded background checks that include gun sales on the interweb and at gun shows. And anybody who's familiar with this in any way, shape, or form and listens to other programs talking about this all day long, you realize there is no such thing as a gun show loophole, but it is created by the hysteria of the media that you can go to a gun show and you can purchase a firearm. I know. So that's the latest. So I think that'll be appropriate as we go to our event tomorrow and we get to hear about the ghost guns and how they're going to rule on these cases. And again, whatever's going to happen, whichever way they decide, there will be an appeal. It'll go to the courts. It'll go to Supreme Court. We'll battle this out and duke it out. And again, this just reinforces the idea of what we've had all along. Of all the guests that we've had on this program for this last week, talking about this issue nonstop is ways for the states to protect themselves, to push their Second Amendment sanctuary laws, not just with guns, but with taxes or with Obamacare or with any other issue. Immigration, they can decide their own. And if the federal government doesn't like it, then you know what? You pull your funding and we'll just do our own thing. But that's the way we have to go. We're going up to a divider here. We're going up to the fork in the road in society on what direction we're going to go. Will we just sit idly by like we have for oh so long on guns, on taxes, on regulations, on corporations in the private market, on minimum wage, on every other issue out there? How are we just going to sit back and watch it all happen, or are we going to do something about it? And are you advocating for violence? No, I'm not advocating for violence. I'm advocating for us to stand up for ourselves. Have a little respect for yourself. Do not let them walk all over you. It's kind of like that abusive relationship where, oh, I need them. I need them. I need to be with them. Oh, you know, they take care of things financially. I can't do it myself. I need them. You don't. You don't need that garbage. Get out. Go do your thing. Protect yourself. And things will fall into place as they go along. It's a philosophy I live by all the time. You need to get out of the negative situation. The government, and this may be a triggering point, pun intended, for the left side of the aisle. It may be a triggering point, but guess what? The government is the abusive spouse. The federal government is. They're a necessary evil. We have to have a federal government, but we keep them as limited as possible. And when they finally overstep that bound and they take a swing at you, you build up that wall and you make sure they can never do that again. And that's what the states have to do. It's time for nullification. It's time for our own policies, and it's time for states to be self-sustaining, to do their own tax rates. Guess what? Yeah, your state tax rates may go up at the end of the day, but your federal one should go down because guess what? We're not spending as much at the federal level when you cut out social programs and when you cut out a lot of their power that they have. We need to get to that level. Are we going to anytime soon? I'm living in somewhat of a fantasy world there because I don't think we're going to get there anytime soon, but we need to work on it. We have to do it little by little, and we're starting to. We're seeing it right now. I am so excited. I know we're in a bad situation at the federal level, but I am so excited right now about the opportunity, the situation we are in to allow states and to watch states do what they're doing right now, putting up that wall. I don't know if you saw or not, and we'll talk about it a little bit when we come back from the break, but Florida, with Ron DeSantis, Governor Ron DeSantis, just signed an election bill, and the media is losing their minds for 2 reasons. Number one, they don't like the state actually reforming their own election laws because that should be H.R. 1 from the federal government that just centralizes all the elections at the federal level, which is what the media wants and the left-wing Democrats want. So they're mad about that. Number two, Ron DeSantis didn't even let the media go into the signing of it, and they're losing their minds. And they're saying now, of course, Republicans are the ones that just isolate and close off the other side and that we're bigoted and we're just, doing things behind closed doors. And it was hysterical to watch them lose their mind. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but kudos to Ron DeSantis. I love that because we're tired of playing along. We give them access. We give them everything they want, and they still just walk all over us and treat us like crap. It's what an abusive relationship does, and I don't want to see that any longer. To heck with the media, to heck with the progressives. No more compromising, no more working with them. We have our own agenda. We got to clean up our own mess within the Republican Party like we've talked about, and then we can move forward. So let them make their decisions on the Second Amendment. Let them pass their infrastructure plan. Let them do what they have to do. Our elected officials, you better not vote for it if you're a Republican. I'm talking infrastructure plan. I'm talking families plan. I'm talking any of it. The federal government should not be involved in it. If you do vote for it, you're out. Boom. We'll see you later. We're cleaning up the party. So you know what? You'll just be part of the old stuff that we clean out anyways. And you know what? The states will make our own decisions. It is realistic. Yes, we can do it. It's going to be some work in progress, but that's what we're here for. We're here to evolve. We're here to make ourselves better people each and every day. That is the intent and purpose of this show. Lots to get to today here for a pre-Friday celebration on The Voice of Reason. Stay here.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser with The Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left seems to find new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back, and we can help with that. Visit our website at HooserReason.com. There's some really great stuff for you. You can read the latest blog discussing topical issues and current events. Let us know your thoughts by filling out our monthly survey. Keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Listen to the podcast of your favorite guest or show, and check out our latest Voice of Reason product infomercials. Plus, you can find upcoming show schedules and guest lineups to plan your radio listening appropriately. And finally, make sure to become a Hoosier-holic by subscribing to the free newsletter. Stay up to date on the latest news of the show, fun facts of the month, and learn new ways to defend and preserve this great republic. It's all there at HooserReason.com. Again, HooserReason.com. Go check it out. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. Want to reach out to the show? A big part of the program is you, and we want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts of the show, maybe a guest we've had on the program, or my favorite, when you disagree with something that I talk about. You can email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or send us a message through our website at HooserReason.com. The show's not about me, it's about you. So be heard and be your own voice of reason. Again, email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or find our contact information at HooserReason.com. Miss part of the show? Don't worry about it. There's plenty of ways to catch the program, and here's how you can do it. First, make sure to tune in every day right here on your favorite radio station. We're here for you. Second, subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite sites. YouTube and iTunes, Spotify and Google Play, TuneIn, Podbean, and more. Have the show automatically downloaded to your favorite device. Last, visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can listen to the podcast, catch our special features, and more. It's the Voice of Reason on radio, TV, and online, helping you defend and preserve this great republic. Hey, it's Andy Hooser with The Voice of Reason. The show's growing all the time, and as we talk about the big issues of the day, one of the big parts of the program is you. And I want you to join us on the program. Whether you agree, disagree, or just want to relieve some of that political frustration, we're here for you. No matter where you may be watching, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, go ahead and leave a comment on the live stream. Chat with other listeners and let me know your thoughts on the topic. Also chat with us on the Podbean chat room. Just go to our live stream of the show at podbean.com and chat with other listeners. You can also call into the program. Just download the Podbean app onto your smartphone, join the live stream, and call in through the app. This is your show, and we want to hear your thoughts. So go ahead and join us here on the Voice of Reason and the Hooser Media Network. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with the Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hoosier-holic by going to HooserReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hooser Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HooserReason.com. For a schedule of upcoming guests on the program, daily show topics, or to reach out to the Hooser Media Network, visit us on the website at HooserReason.com. Or for general inquiries, to be a guest on the program, or to have Andy a guest on your program, email us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Keep fighting for freedom with us every day right here on the Voice of Reason and the Hooser Media Network. Now, back to the show.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy
Welcome
Hooser.
back into the program. 24 minutes past the hour. Goes by so fast. Goes by so fast. By far the fastest hour of radio on radio. Welcome in radio and TV, plus our live streaming and podcasting. You can always reach out to me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Again, that's Hooser with no I, HOOSER. HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. You can also go to the website at HooserReason.com. Send me a message on there, plus any of our social media. I do check all that stuff. Me, myself, and I. For right now, one of these days, but I do check all that stuff. I try to post semi-regularly on as many of them as I can, although it's almost like a full-time job just doing nothing but social media, and I just don't have time for that. So we do what we can when we can, and that's about it. All of it, again, at Hooser Reason. All right, so here's the latest from Fox News real quick, then we'll get into the election thing. Joe Biden issued a proclamation on National Day of Prayer this week, but one word was missing. Can you imagine what that word actually was? A National Day of Prayer, and one word was missing. The word God. Now, both former presidents, Barack Obama and Donald Trump, mentioned the word God in their National Day of Prayer proclamations, but Biden's proclamation never mentioned God. Only Americans, quote, many religious belief systems and the power of prayer. Here's what he said, quote, throughout our history, Americans of many religions and belief systems have turned to prayer for strength, hope, and guidance. Prayer has nourished countless souls and powerful moral movements, including essential fights against racial injustice, child labor, and infringement on the rights of disabled Americans. Prayer is also a daily practice for many, whether it is to ask for help or strength or give thanks over blessings bestowed. Now, if you've never heard a more politicized religious statement in your entire life, please let me know, because I've never heard a more politicized religious statement in my entire life. Why would I get, okay, the moral movements, countless souls, prayer has nourished countless souls and empowered moral movements, including the essential right to racial injustice, child labor, and infringement on the right of disabled Americans. So here's the victimhood status, and it's empowered them by going to prayer, because people just turn to that when they're down, which is true. But why would you do that? Why would you say it that way? Those are the victims of society, and therefore they need prayer because it lifts them back up. And he, again, doesn't even use the word God, which, again, I don't care what religion you follow. I don't care what faith, what type of faith you actually have. Mine is probably very controversial for some individuals. I'm Christian, obviously, but it's probably everybody kind of walks their own path on how they practice their faith. But there's one singular kind of unified thing within all religions, and that is a higher power of God. Now, I don't want to get all preachy here, because that's not really the place for this, the time and place for that conversation. But if you're going to have a National Day of Prayer and you make a proclamation on the National Day of Prayer, you kind of want to mention the higher source that created all of it, whatever that may be, the energy source, God, the central power, whatever the heck you want to call it. And you don't even mention it. You're just like, people pray when they're really down, and it really helps people that are victims because they're victims of society, and it helps them find strength. That's cool, but I thought Joe Biden was like the super religious guy. Didn't they say that on the campaign trail? He was like Uncle Joe, and he's really religious, and he's just kind of the old school. He goes to church all the time. But then I remember that he did say this.
And if we do, and I'm sure we can proclaim the psalmist, with the psalmist who wrote these following words. The Lord is my strength and my shield.
So maybe not quite as religious as what they thought. Now, the media, of course, has not said a single word about the fact that Joe Biden's not necessarily religious. In fact, they did go after Donald Trump in 2016 for asking him what his favorite Bible verse was, and he said all of it. And then they got really mad because he doesn't have a favorite Bible verse. Therefore, he must not be very religious, and how dare he get that Christian vote in America because he's not religious and he's a tool and yada, yada, yada. They go off on. Joe Biden can't say the book of Psalms, and he doesn't even mention God during a proclamation of National Prayer Week. Is there a correlation there? I don't know. I'm not challenging the guy's faith or questioning his faith. Believe whatever the heck you want to believe. I don't really care. But if you're going to do it, at least do it right.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser. While you listen to the delightful broadcast of The Voice of Reason, don't forget to check us out and follow us on YouTube, along with our website at tracymaxfield.com. Also, make sure to tune into the weekly podcast Jump, Pivot, and Roll with Shannon Stiles and Rachel Murphy. Taking that next big leap of faith is hard. Trying to write a book, maybe struggling with a relationship, looking to take that next big career step. What's stopping you? There's a lot of big questions there, and they're questions that Rachel and Shannon want to help with you each and every week. It's Jump, Pivot, and Roll on any of your favorite podcasting sites and on Facebook and YouTube. All of these shows and a heck of a lot more can be found on the Hooser Media Network Facebook and YouTube channels. Make sure to follow and subscribe to check them out today. Follow all the shows, and if you have any inquiries, check us out at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with the Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hooserholic by going to HooserReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hooser Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HooserReason.com. Oh, hi. You know, conservative messages now are more important than ever before. Election season, state legislative issues, and a rise in the radical left socialist progressive agenda. What we really need now more than ever before is knowledge and wisdom. That's where we come in. Hi, I'm Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason, and I'm your voice for reasonable talk, conservative commentary, great guests and entertainment on radio, TV, and the internet. It's time to bring some common sense back into the discussion. National issues, state legislative issues, no matter where you may be, upcoming elections, and a heck of a lot more, we can bring traditional values, constitutional principles, and local activism back. And here's what you can do. First, follow us on all the social media platforms at Hooser Reason. You can watch the live stream of the show, leave comments, and even call into the program. Second, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on all of your audio devices, from iTunes and Spotify to Google Play and TuneIn. Make sure to subscribe to have every episode automatically downloaded so you don't miss a single episode. Third, make sure to visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can catch our monthly blog talking about deeper discussions, see who's coming on the program, plus you can sign up for our free monthly newsletter to catch the latest on the show, monthly topics, upcoming interviews, and more. It's time to be that local activist again. That's what the Voice of Reason's all about. Why? Because that's kind of the reasonable thing to do. And it's time for you to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason. Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. The show's growing all the time, and as we talk about the big issues of the day, one of the big parts of the program is you. And I want you to join us on the program. Whether you agree, disagree, or just want to relieve some of that political frustration, we're here for you. No matter where you may be watching, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, go ahead and leave a comment on the live stream. Chat with other listeners and let me know your thoughts on the topic. Also chat with us on the Podbean chat room. Just go to our live stream of the show at podbean.com and chat with other listeners. You can also call into the program. Just download the Podbean app onto your smartphone, join the live stream, and call in through the app. This is your show, and we want to hear your thoughts. So go ahead and join us here on the Voice of Reason and the Hooser Media Network.
When Reason Meets Radio. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Welcome back into the program, radio and TV and the live streaming and the podcasting all over the country. Welcome into the program. Trying to cram that 10 pounds of reason into that 5-pound bag. Trying to rebrand the millennial generation, one radio listener at a time. Real quickly, I got to give props. Love this guy, Governor Ron DeSantis out of Florida, as he shuts out parts of the media for the signing of their SB 90 bill. a controversial, quote-unquote, according to the media at least, a controversial election bill as many journalists gathered outside the Hilton Airport Hotel in West Palm Beach, Florida, early on Thursday morning to cover the governor's signing of the Senate Bill 90, a sweeping election-related measure that, among other things, creates ID requirements for mail-in voting and restricts the use of ballot drop boxes. OMG. Yeah, apparently it's, terrible if you actually have to show an ID to go and vote or to actually do a mail-in ballot. You have to show an ID. What a travesty, man. That guy, hates people and stuff. The best part was that as they lined up to go and watch the signing of the bill, that news media was barred from entry at Governor DeSantis' signing of the controversial election bill SB 90. DeSantis spokeswoman Taryn Fenske says the bill signed was a Fox exclusive. Quote, "We've been at the Hilton since 4 a.m. this morning, only to be told we can't get in to hear the governor speak about the signing of the bill," according to the CBS local affiliate. And there were numerous different social media messages from different news outlets about how angry they were because it was only a Fox exclusive. Look, if you're not going to be fair about the coverage of it, then why even let you in? We have the right to do that, you jerks. Yeah, okay. That's why Donald Trump, when he was in office at the federal level, opened up to as many different media outlets as possible, right? Even included Newsmax and One America's News Network and so many other news sources. And the media outlets there got so angry because you're not a real journalist. You're not allowed to be here. You're not a real journalist. So they limit it when Biden gets in there, and now they're like, oh, how dare you try and be censorship-like and not let us come in to cover it to tell you how horrible of a human being you actually are. It's crazy. All right, let's get into what's trending. What do you say?
What's trending today?
I am excited and honored to have on the program today as we shift gears a little bit. We're getting towards the end of the week, and could you make it in the military? Could you make it? As the latest book, Hell Week and Beyond, The Making of a Navy SEAL, goes into interviews of different Navy SEALs, different military individuals, and what their training looks like, what they go through. Could you make it in that world? Now, I will be the first to tell you that I would not be able to make that. I thought about it as a kid, and then I decided not to because, you know what? I'm just going to be lazy. So I'll get on the radio and yell at people instead. Why the heck not? I'm excited to have our guest on the program. He is the author of the book Hell Week and Beyond, The Making of a Navy SEAL, also co-author of the #1 New York Times bestseller, American Sniper. Yeah, it's the man Scott McEwen with us here. Scott, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on the program very much. It's an honor to talk to you. Both books. I mean, with American Sniper, obviously went huge with the book and with the movie and everything. It was awesome. This focusing with the military as well. Hell Week. Let's talk a little bit about that Hell Week. How many people in the country do you think could actually make it through some of these initiations, let's put it?
Well, it's less than 200 a year, that's for sure. Based upon the actual statistics, it's extremely difficult. It's probably the most difficult warrior training program, military program on the face of the planet. I don't know of anything that even remotely compares, possibly some of the Russian Spetsnaz. The training gets close, but nothing to compare with the SEALs.
Really? Now, I had heard, not being in the military myself, I had heard the rumor that the military over the years has gotten lighter, that like boot camps, you don't necessarily get yelled and screamed at anymore. It's a little bit more, I guess, nice or PC friendly. Is that true, or is it really still as tough as what they say?
Well, that's one thing I really like about, our special forces community, the SEALs, Delta, and MARSOC, as well as the Air Force Rescue Squad. They're all extremely difficult. They all have very stringent standards, and fortunately they have not lowered the bar, and they've made it very difficult and continue to make it extremely difficult to get through the program. And, not everybody gets a trophy, and isn't that a difference from what we see in our society nowadays?
Yeah, God bless them. I mean, that's what we need in general society already, and maybe embrace that. I'm concerned that if we go down the road as a general society of doing the participation trophies, lightening things up to make it easier so that way the majority of people can actually pass instead of trying to push to work them, is that going to limit the amount of people you think that are prepared to go into special forces later on down the road?
Oh, there's no doubt that the candidates are limited. Period. I think for our military in general, I think that's absolutely true because we have lowered the standards. But I think for our special forces, and particularly for the SEALs, and one of the things I try to do in Hell Week is really give a young man or, anybody out there a vision of exactly how difficult it is, because I consider this book to be really as detailed of the day-to-day basis of what you need to go through and what you have to go through to become a SEAL that as any that's ever been written. And, I've got 10 years of experience knowing guys like Chris Kyle, Ryan Zinke, who was, the XO, the commanding officer at BUD/S for 2 years, and men like that really have made it a decision in their life that they will not lower the standard. They will not make it less difficult than when they went through. And as a result, we still have, the most badass group of fighting men on the face of the planet in our SEAL teams.
Yeah, I love that, and God bless them for that. Before we get into some of the stuff, I'd like to talk about the training and the rigorous course they go through. As you mentioned, even though it is extremely tough and probably the highest standards in the world, we don't give away any secrets here, do we? So some of the other militaries around the world kind of know what we're up to, right?
No, they will allow, funny enough, they will allow other military special forces groups to go through the training. There's really no secret in the training. This training is just extremely difficult. I mean, it's not a matter of something of tactics or procedures or something like that. It's just flat out beat down every day, stay up for 5 days straight, especially during Hell Week, take you down to the point of hypothermia, but testing you, every 10 minutes to make sure that you're not in hypothermia, and basically taking these men to the level, to the edge of their mental and physical ability.
I love it. Well, let's talk about some of this. So Hell Week, what all is involved with it? And when you walk into Hell Week, what could you expect right off the bat?
Well, it's important to know when they put the Hell Week. And SEAL team training is 18 months. And to get all the way through and to get your Trident and become a Navy SEAL, it takes 18 months. And in that training, they spend between $1 million and $1.5 million per man, not including equipment, just in training costs per man, because basically you're teaching them a skill set to jump out of airplanes at 30,000 feet, to dive, at night underneath ships, set bombs, to run just about every weapon systems you can imagine, satellite communications, everything, and all of it simultaneously. So you have a very, rigorous group of training exercises, but they put this Hell Week at the end of the first month. In other words, they let you build up some physically and mentally, but they want to know at the end of this Hell Week whether you've got the stuff to make it as a SEAL. They put the bell out there for you to drop on request, and the bell is a pretty famous part of Hell Week, which basically you ring it and you can go get your coffee and your donut and you're done, but you can never come back.
How amazing. That's kind of like the episode of like G.I. Jane, wasn't it, where she's out there ringing the bell because she's done and she couldn't handle any more of it? Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie for years, but I'm sure, I think that was a depiction of a woman going through the training. But one thing I will say is no woman has ever gone through SEAL team training.
Wow, how amazing. So when you talk about the physical, how much of it is physical and how much of it is mental? I mean, obviously, if you're going to push your body to the brink, there's a lot of strain on the body, especially if you're sleep deprived, you're going 5 days, you're doing all these physical exertions. But at what level of mental strength do you have to even try to endure something like this?
Well, and that's really, one of the more interesting quotes I ever heard was from Ryan Zinke. And Ryan, like as I said, Secretary of the Interior, Congressman from Utah, and also a commander at SEAL Team 6, or a Congressman from Montana, and a commander at SEAL Team 6 for several years. Ryan said, when he was running BUD/S and running the training program, some of the most excellent world-class Olympic quality athletes, swimmers, runners, etc., run to the bell to ring it the quickest. It's got more to do with that 6 inches between your ears than it does in whatever shape and whatever body you bring to it.
Wow. How amazing. So with your experience with interviewing individuals, with seeing this happen, going through all this stuff, what is one of the most difficult or hard challenges that people struggle with the most? Is it the hypothermia? Is it the sleep deprivation? I mean, what's the hardest part of all this?
I think the hypothermia and just the freezing in the Pacific Ocean is really the most difficult. I think that's what takes the most guys out. I mean, there's other physicals, running with 70-pound backpacks for, tens of miles, 15 miles at night, whatever, with sand all over your body. This type of thing is out there, but it's really the hypothermia that is the most difficult. And interestingly enough, a lot of the guys that make it, and I would say even a majority, it come from northern climates. For example, Rob O'Neill that double tapped Osama bin Laden 10-year anniversary a few days ago. Thank God for that.
Yeah.
Came from Montana. Zinke came from Montana. A lot of guys from Oregon. A lot of guys from Ohio. Wisconsin, stuff like that. They're used to a little bit of that deep freeze, and so as a result, they can handle it a little better when they get to bud.
That's amazing. Last question before we let you go. We're getting short on time here, but is there any other, people going into this, have you heard of different techniques people use to prepare for this? Is there any holistic stuff that they try to use, holistic medicine, holistic, breathing techniques, meditation stuff, or even cold therapy prior to that help them prepare for this sort of thing? Or is it just, good luck when you get in there?
I think the physical workout part of it is you have to show up at Bud in amazing physical shape, and they have groups now that help you train for that physicality. There are former SEALs that actually put on classes, and the Navy makes it pretty clear what they want too, because they don't want just guys going through there and just washing out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that want to try and make it, but they have to have certain standards to even start the course.
I love
so
it.
That's a good thing to do.
Scott McEwen, it's author of the book Hell Week and Beyond, the Making of a Navy SEAL, also co-author of American Sniper as well. Visit his website, scottmcewen.com. Scott, it's great to talk to you, my friend. Thank you for doing all this stuff. We love it, and we appreciate it. We got to get you back on again the show real soon here.
Love to. Thank you very much.
Hey, appreciate it. We'll take a break, wrap up the show today on a Thursday. Stay here.
With Andy Hooser.
Hey, it's Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason. Fighting for conservative principles seems more difficult all the time. The progressive left seems to find new and creative ways to limit freedom, abuse power, and trample the Constitution each and every day. That's why we need the knowledge, resources, and common sense to push back, and we can help with that. Visit our website at HooserReason.com. There's some really great stuff for you. You can read the latest blog discussing topical issues and current events. Let us know your thoughts by filling out our monthly survey. Keep track of what I might be doing or where I may be speaking. Listen to the podcast of your favorite guest or show, and check out our latest Voice of Reason product infomercials. Plus, you can find upcoming show schedules and guest lineups to plan your radio listening appropriately. And finally, make sure to become a Hoosier-holic by subscribing to the free newsletter. Stay up to date on the latest news of the show, fun facts of the month, and learn new ways to defend and preserve this great republic. It's all there at HooserReason.com. Again, HooserReason.com. Go check it out. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. Miss part of the show? Don't worry about it. There's plenty of ways to catch the program, and here's how you can do it. First, make sure to tune in every day right here on your favorite radio station. We're here for you. Second, subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite sites. YouTube and iTunes, Spotify and Google Play, TuneIn, Podbean, and more. Have the show automatically downloaded to your favorite device. Last, visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can listen to the podcast, catch our special features, and more. It's the Voice of Reason on radio, TV, and online, helping you defend and preserve this great republic. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. Want to reach out to the show? A big part of the program is you, and we want to hear from you. Let us know your thoughts of the show, maybe a guest we've had on the program, or my favorite, when you disagree with something that I talk about. You can email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or send us a message through our website at HooserReason.com. The show's not about me, it's about you. So be heard and be your own voice of reason. Again, email me at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com or find our contact information at HooserReason.com. Oh, hi. Conservative messages now are more important than ever before. Election season, state legislative issues, and a rise in the radical left socialist progressive agenda. What we really need now more than ever before is knowledge and wisdom. That's where we come in. Hi, I'm Andy Hooser with the Voice of Reason, and I'm your voice for reasonable talk, conservative commentary, great guests and entertainment on radio, TV, and the internet. It's time to bring some common sense back into the discussion. National issues, state legislative issues, no matter where you may be, upcoming elections, and a heck of a lot more, we can bring traditional values, constitutional principles, and local activism back. And here's what you can do. First, follow us on all the social media platforms at Hoosier Reason. You can watch the live stream of the show, leave comments, and even call into the program. Second, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on all of your audio devices, from iTunes and Spotify to Google Play and TuneIn. Make sure to subscribe to have every episode automatically downloaded so you don't miss a single episode. Third, make sure to visit our website at HooserReason.com. You can catch our monthly blog talking about deeper discussions, see who's coming on the program, plus you can sign up for our free monthly newsletter to catch the latest on the show, monthly topics, upcoming interviews, and more. It's time to be that local activist again. That's what the Voice of Reason's all about. Why? Because that's kind of the reasonable thing to do. And it's time for you to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason. Hey, miss a show? Don't worry about it. You have plenty of opportunities to watch, listen, learn, and be entertained with the Voice of Reason anytime you want. And here's how you can do it. First, become a Hooserholic by going to HooserReason.com and signing up for the show newsletter to get the latest on the show, upcoming guests, topical discussions, and more. Next, subscribe to the podcast and have the show automatically downloaded to any platform you like to use. You can subscribe through any of your favorite platforms with iTunes and Spotify, Google Play and TuneIn, or you can also go and subscribe directly to our Podbean website. Last, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search Hooser Reason, and subscribe to watch all of our shows, videos, and get notified whenever we're live. All the links and info are at HooserReason.com. Hey, I hope you're enjoying the program today. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on any of your favorite podcasting sites and have the show automatically downloaded to your phone or computer every single day. Just find us on any podcasting site or go to HooserReason.podbean.com. And be sure to check out our Patreon site, become the ultimate Hooserholic, and help us fight for conservative values every day. Why? Because it's kind of the reasonable thing to do. Now back to the national broadcast of the Voice of Reason.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Welcome back into the program. Thanks for hanging out with us today on a pre-Friday celebration. Thanks again to Scott McEwen coming on the program, co-author of American Sniper, also his latest book, Hell Week and Beyond, the Making of a Navy SEAL. That's awesome. Awesome. Love the conversation there. We'll have to get him back on the show. And thank God. See, I can even say it, and it's not even a proclamation for National Prayer Day. Thank God that we have some individuals that are willing to go through absolute hell and back to defend this nation. Think about that for a second. We are trying to soften down our society right now. We have the participation trophy. We just lower the standards every day. Welcome to the public education system, by the way. Oh, we have the majority of kids that can't pass it. Let's just lower the standard of the test. We'll just lower the challenge so that way more people can pass. We'll just throw more money at it and just make it easier for everybody. That's what we'll do. That's going to make everything all better. We have that type of mentality in society right now. I'm a victim. I can't pass that. Therefore, you need to change the standard so I qualify, as opposed to me trying to reach those new heights. But yet, thank God, that's even happening in parts of the military as well. Basic boot camp, from what I've heard at least, as they've kind of gone down that road. They've kind of gone down we don't want to yell at them. We don't want to scream at them all the time. We don't want it to be that uncomfortable. We just want to get them in and get them out. But yet, then we have the Navy SEALs. We're like, we ain't going to do that. 200 people a year actually go through that program. Our elite force in the nation, to make sure that they are at top-notch quality, to make sure they will defend our nation from anything, which is amazing. So God bless those men and women. God bless all those guys. I guess no women have gone through the Navy SEAL training like that in that Hell Week, but that's amazing that we have people that are willing to do that, and God bless them. That's all I can say. That's absolutely awesome. Really love it. All right, last couple of minutes here before we wrap up the show. In the latest in what's trending.
What's trending today?
So I don't know if this is a couple days old. I don't know if you saw this, but I had to make the connection. Not sure if you've seen this connection yet or not. I got a message from a listener today on social media. I mean, he's a listener, but he kind of doesn't like anything I say, which is cool. That's all right. You can have the free will to believe whatever the heck you want to believe. I don't really care. I just give you my opinion based on the facts that I present and the information that I have in front of me. So you can disagree or agree. I don't really care one way or the other. But he sent me a message and he goes, Andy, the vaccinations for COVID-19 are not government vaccines. What the heck are you trying to tell people? What do you tell people? Which, he's right. The vaccine is not from the government. However, the government is pushing the vaccine. The government is funding the vaccine. The government's distributing the vaccine. The government's encouraging everybody to get the vaccine. It's made and produced by a private company, multiple private companies, Moderna and Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson and what's the other one? AstraZeneca. So there's really 4 of them right now. The private company's doing that. The government's pushing them all out. Now, I said this a long time ago. Why would they not promote natural health remedies like vitamins and sort of thing to kind of boost your immune system, where you can have that as an alternative or an add-on to make yourself healthy from COVID-19 that I mentioned, because there's no money in it. And the big pharma industry is desperate to gain money after Donald Trump really took away a lot of their profits, lowering prescription prices for individuals, lowering the price of pharmaceuticals for individuals, capping what they're allowed to do, and it made them very angry. So there's two headlines here, and I want you to connect the dots if you can for just a second, shall you? Here's one from Newsmax.com. Biden is set to a July 4th goal for 70% of all U.S. adults to have at least one vaccine shot. First off, that's not going to happen. That's very cute. 70% of all U.S. adults. We are right now sitting at like 35, 40% maybe in this nation with adults that had at least one vaccine, and it's pretty much died off with popularity. Other people that haven't gotten it don't want to get it, and I'm not going to get it because we realize, you know what? I'm healthy. I'm young. I'm working able. I'm working bodied. I do my exercises. I do some stuff. I'm out and about. I'm good. If I get it, I'm going to have like that 99% chance of being asymptomatic. I'm good. Thanks. But I'm good. Biden set July 4th goal for 70% of adults to have at least one vaccine. Here's the next headline for you. See if you can connect the dots here. TheHill.com. Pfizer earned $3.5 billion just on COVID-19 vaccinations in the first quarter of 2021. $3.5 billion in one quarter from one product that they come out with. Now, if that's not rebuilding the losses they made during the Trump administration, because I thought everybody was in unison about evil big pharma taking advantage of everyone. The Biden administration comes in, forces everybody to get the vaccine. Pfizer alone made $3.5 billion in one quarter off of one product, and he wants everybody else to get it by the 4th of July, so 70% of the nation has the vaccine. Do you think there's some profit going on somewhere? Andy, we're not paying for it. You are with your taxpayer money from the federal government. Hat tip to them making that happen. Big Pharma only getting stronger. Agenda-driven, you beat the decision on that one. That does it for us today. Podcast going up a little bit. We're back on Monday. We will not have a show tomorrow since I'll be at the Kansas State Rifle Association's annual meeting in Hays, Kansas. Until then, I'm Andy Hooser. This is The Voice of Reason. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. While you listen to the delightful broadcast of The Voice of Reason, don't forget to check us out and follow us on all of our social media sites. Whether you're using Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Minds.com, or Instagram, we're there for you. Find us at Hooser Reason on any of your social media platforms. You'll see special commentary, links to the articles and news that we use on the show, and videos of the broadcast. Plus, you can directly send us a message on social media during the show to let me know your thoughts. Many already do, and it's a great chat room for all of our great listeners. And you can always sign up for the Patreon site to get exclusive content, maybe hear show products before we air them on the radio, and a lot more. And when you support us on Patreon, you also help the show be able to fight for conservative values each and every day. So it's a win-win. Just find us at Hooser Reason on all of your social media platforms.